Hi, John. The reaction of the USG players on the pitch last week, quotes in the press, has that been used by the players amongst yourselves as a gildy up for tomorrow night?
I think you can use whatever motivation you need for this game tomorrow. Everyone's different, but we've certainly all seen it. We certainly all know it's there, and it's such disrespectful if you want to say, but no, listen, we're ready, and whatever motivation you need for tomorrow night, you can use what you like, but we just need to turn up and we will.
And in terms of the atmosphere, it's almost become a cliche at Ibrox about how important it is, but it has been a really noticeable factor, especially in the last 4 years. Is that something that the players talk about themselves?
Of course, after big nights in Europe, we talk about it. I think it's not just us that talks about it. The whole country does. The whole UK talks about the atmosphere at Ibrox, and the whole of Europe talks about it. So, not only us, but we certainly need it again tomorrow night. We're under no illusions. It'll be a tough night for us to overcome the 2-0 deficit, which we only put ourselves in that position. So, but there's no reason why we can't with that fan base behind us.
David Edgar.
Good afternoon, John. After a performance like last week and knowing what you need to do to put it right, is that something that the players talk to each other about and get in amongst it in terms of the senior leadership group and say, look, we didn't do this. This is what we need to do on Tuesday night?
I wouldn't say there's certain 2 or 3 players get in a group and say this is what we need to do. That comes from the manager and everyone as a collective on the training pitch. But we certainly know what we need to go out and do tomorrow. A game like tomorrow night doesn't really need much talking about. We know what we need to do. We know where we went wrong last week. It obviously wasn't good enough, and we feel it just as much as the fans do. We disappointed ourselves and we disappointed everyone else. So we know what's expected of us as Rangers players, and we'll try and put it right tomorrow.
Stephen Clifford.
Good afternoon, John. I wondered what kind of advice and experience you've been able to give the new players that have come in, considering your own position last year and you've now come through that to become a fan's favourite. I wonder what kind of discussions and things you've had with them.
Not much, really. Players are experienced enough to go through. We all go through tough patches in our career. I wouldn't even say any of the new players are going through a tough patch. We've played 2-3 games in the season. To be writing anyone off now is ludicrous. So no, I just say there's not a need to be said to experienced professionals that they've had 1 or 2 bad games. Like, it becomes a problem when you have a bad 6 months maybe, or a bad season, but not after 2 or 3 games. There's absolutely no way on earth you can write someone off, just any player for that matter, in world football, just because they've had a couple of bad games. I don't think it takes me to tell someone that.
Michael Grant.
Hi, John. Is it fair enough to call it a season-defining game tomorrow night, given the rewards financially and also the attraction of being in the Champions League?
Well, European-wise, of course, our aim is massive to get into the Champions League. That's what we wanted for a couple of seasons, and going forward, this whole league campaign is gearing towards winning the league and qualifying automatically. So no, of course, it's a big moment for ourselves. We all want to be playing in the Champions League. The whole fan base, the whole club, everyone wants that. What football player doesn't? But in terms of season defining, it's completely different to the league campaign. Of course, we want to win the league. That's what Rangers Football Club always aspires to do. But we also want to play in the Champions League as well. Of course, we do.
Mark Benstead.
On a similar vein, John, will it be a feeling of regret, a missed opportunity if you don't turn this around, given how hard you've worked as a group over the last couple of seasons to be in this position, for the coefficient to go up, to be a couple of games away from the Champions League group stages?
Yeah, of course it will if we don't get through. Of course, it'll be a disappointment for everyone, but we're not at that stage yet. We've got a game tomorrow to play. We're not at the stage where we need to be thinking about it if we don't get through. That's absolutely not even on our minds. We're going into the game tomorrow to win and to win by more than 2 goals. So it's not even crossed our minds, to be honest.
Lindsay Heron.
John, this time last year, you obviously suffered a red card in the qualifier, and believe it or not, it's the same referee. We're looking forward to that. But how important is it that the lads keep their discipline in this game?
Yeah, it is. It's massive. I think we've actually done quite well in games at Ibrox, where obviously when the fans are behind you, like they always are, and it is quite emotional for everyone. It's hard not to get caught up in there because we're all fans at the end of the day as well. We're all fans, but we're players. So you do get emotional, and I think it's something we actually control quite well, really. Obviously not myself in that game, obviously, but after that, I think we've actually controlled that quite well. I think our discipline's been decent, to be fair. So I'm sure it's something that we will control.
Andrew McLean, please.
Just how big a boost is it for the squad to have Alfredo Morello back available and fit, because he's shown, in these big games he can be a talismanic player?
Yeah, no, he's a big player for us, obviously, Buff. He was phenomenal last year, and he has been for many years. So, no, big player for us, as is a lot of players in the squad. But no, looking forward to having him back, and hopefully he brings some goals along with all the attacking players.
Chris Jack.
Hi, John. You mentioned the reaction from the Belgian camp post-match and over the last few days. Do you get the impression that they think the job's already done?
A wee bit, you could say that, yeah. But they're coming to a really tough place. I'm not sure they've really took that in mind yet, where they're coming to, and what a big venue it is. So, no, look, we're just ready to go. Just absolutely can't wait to get out there and put right where we disappointed ourselves last week.
Scott Gray, please.
Hi, John. What's the confidence like in the dressing room, given obviously what happened last week? Would you say that there's a kind of, obviously there is a score to settle given the 2-0 defeat, but just how can I agree that the players buy that, and what's the mood like?
We were just more frustrated with ourselves, to be honest. We obviously didn't perform to the levels we know we could, and that was the frustrating thing about a couple of weeks ago, or last week, sorry. But yeah, no, we know we're a lot better than what we've shown on the night, so it's up to us to show that again tomorrow.
Jordan Campbell, please.
Hi, John. You spoke about Union trying to maybe not taking into account just what Ibrox can be like. Obviously seen that 2 or 3 times last year when you came back for being behind in the first leg. It seemed like the big plan last year was to really try and get in the heads of oppositions. Can you call on those experiences? Did you feel like Braga and Leipzig you got in their head early on at Ibrox?
I don't know whether in the head's the right thing, but we just try and use Ibrox to our strengths. Of course, it's a phenomenal place to play football. So no, we just try and use that to our strength, and if the opposition can cope with it, great, and if not, then it's a benefit for us.
Final question, Matthew Lindsay.
John, you need to score goals tomorrow night without leaving yourselves open at the back. You'll be involved in all areas of the park, given your position. How much do you relish having such an important role to play in such a big game, and how much does that bring out the best in you?
No, I think it does. I think I always try and think of myself as a big game player, and I try and thrive off the big games, the adrenaline, the pressure on you. I really like to think that's where I'm at my best. So no, I'm not going to lie. I absolutely can't wait, and I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.